I have had to schedule a number of exams, including the GMAT, all 4 parts of the CPA exam, and 3 parts of the Certified Internal Auditor exam. Regardless of which certification or course you are studying for, how do you know when you are ready and fully prepared to pass your exam? You do not want to waste your money. You do not want to fail the exam and have to take it all over again. How do you know when you are fully ready to pass your exam and get a sufficient score on the first attempt? You are in luck. I have created a checklist to help you determine if you are truly ready to take your exam and pass. Before we go through the checklist, tell me, which exam are you studying for? Go ahead, let me know in the comments, which exam are you studying for? Then subscribe to the channel for more great videos. All right, time for the checklist. So the checklist includes a series of questions that you should ask yourself in order to measure your level of preparedness. The first question is, do you have limited time to prepare for and pass your exam? So for example, if you're taking the CPA exam, you have to pass all parts within 18 months. If you're taking the Certified Internal Auditor exam, you have to pass all 3 parts within 3 years. And for an exam like the GMAT, you have to get the perfect score or close to perfect score prior to your application due date for grad school. So you have to consider this as a metric when you're determining whether or not you should take your exam soon, or if you have time to study a little bit more to increase your chances of getting a better score. Number 2 on the checklist, did you perform a thorough review of all the topics that are on the exam syllabus? So whether you're in college, high school, all the way to professional certification, there should always be an exam syllabus that guides you and lets you know what are the topics or subjects that will be on your exam. Make sure that you actually read through all those topics so that you can tailor your studying to those specific topics before you take your exam. All right, number 3 on the checklist is very closely tied to what we just discussed. Have you fully read the exam content? And when I say fully read, I mean no skipping. So even if there's a subject that you feel very confident about, you feel like it's an area of strength that you're very familiar with, sometimes exams can have different formats or ask questions in different ways that we are normally accustomed to. So make sure that you fully read exam content, no skipping any subjects or topics, and that'll be a sure way to pass your exam on the first attempt. Number 4 closely aligns with what we just previously discussed. Did you review all video lectures or presentations for each topic on the exam? So for me, I'm studying for this Certified Internal Auditor exam right now, which comes with a set of video lectures that I can watch. I have read and watched all of those video lectures and the accompanying notes, which we'll get into for number 5. But those lectures really help me retain information and summarize things succinctly that I just read in my book. It helps me, make sure that I can quickly understand and summarize each topic. So make sure that you watch all your video lectures, or if you're giving PowerPoint presentations, make sure that you're also reading those, reviewing those before you take your exam. All right, number 5 on the checklist, I just alluded to this. Did you review all of your notes and flashcards? So if you're in class and you have to take notes daily, make sure that you're reviewing those periodically so that you just don't learn a ton of information. And then at the very end, you're having to scramble it back to the first set of notes and trying to retain that information. Notes are for you to periodically review so that you never miss or do not retain that information that you first learned at the beginning of the course or at the beginning of your studies. If you're given flashcards, those are super helpful because they give little summarized bits of information about what you should have learned throughout the course of your studies. So make sure that you review your notes and your flashcards prior to taking your exam to ensure that you clear that test. Number 6 on the checklist. Normally, if you're studying for a professional certification and you have the appropriate study materials, a practice exam should be included in those study materials. So make sure that you have taken that practice exam and that you treat it like you're actually taking the real exam. So you are making sure that you're blocking out a set of time where no one can interrupt you or disturb you, that you are getting into the testing environment in which the real exam will really be. And you take that exam And then after you take that exam, you look at your score, analyze your areas of weaknesses and strengths, and then determine if you need additional study time for those areas of weakness, because those will be key and vital to passing your exam. Once you can conquer those areas of weakness, or at least improve a little bit, again, you don't have to, depending on what test you're taking, you do not have to get the 100 score, the 100% score. You just might have to get 75% or 80% right, but we want you to have a decent understanding of those areas of weaknesses as well as those strengths so that you can clear your exam and pass on the first attempt. All right, number 7. Finally, last on the checklist, do a gut check. Ask yourself, with your heart, mind, soul, spirit aligned, do I feel prepared to take and pass this test? And normally, if you're like me, I know this feeling. I know that I'm ready to take an exam when I get fatigued. It's literally when I get tired of studying. Like when I read something and I'm like, okay, I know this from the back of my hand. Like, I don't even have to look at this book anymore, and I can tell you everything about this subject. Like, I know I have been studying for this exam too long. I am prepared. And you know what? When you wait too long to take an exam, you could start to even forget content that you studied. So the goal is to actually study for exam contents within a defined time frame so that you can retain that information and pass. Now, of course, the goal is not to memorize information. No, we want you to learn it, but there are some things that may not directly affect your actual day-to-day responsibilities in your job that you will be pursuing or in your career that you're pursuing. So for those areas in the exam, we want to go ahead and quickly memorize those, study those, take that exam so that we don't have to worry about trying to retain all of that information. Thank you so much for tuning in to learn my checklist of 7 ways to know if you are ready to take your exam. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to Becoming Boss C if you have not already. And also press the like button if you enjoy this video. If you have already subscribed, thank you so much for returning. We are on the journey to 1,000 subscribers. And at this point right now, we are very close to reaching 500 subscribers. So I'm so excited about that. If you made it this far, comment below, I am ready to take my exam. That's how I'll know that you made it all the way to the end of this video. Comment, I am ready to take my exam. Finally, there is another way that you can support this channel monetarily in the description box. It's been a pleasure. As always, stay blessed and stay Boss C.